It's the Kyle and Jackie O show this morning here at KISS. Now, Lisa Sainsbury, you know that word Sainsbury?
Yes.
It's been all over the news.
From Cassie Sainsbury, obviously.
Exactly. Now, we followed that. We spoke to the mum right back when this all blew up from I think, day one, right?
Yeah, almost 12 months ago, Cassie was arrested at a Colombian airport. We all remember this. She tried to smuggle 5.8 kilos of cocaine, and she was offered to be paid $10,000 to deliver this package. She's taken a deal. We now know that, and I believe we're speaking to her mum just to find out how everything's going.
Well, it's been about 12 months. Lisa Sainsbury, hi, hun. How are you?
Hi, Lisa.
Good. How are you?
Oh, good. Now,
Good.
Obviously, 12 months with your daughter in that jail.
Well, that's 1 year down, 5 to go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And counting. How's it been for her? How's she holding up?
She's doing as well as she can. She's actually surprising me how strong she is.
Yeah. How often do you guys get to talk to each other?
Nearly every day.
Oh,
Oh,
wow,
good.
that's good. So do they get call-outs, or do you call there, or how does it work?
I call in, but sometimes she can call out as well.
God, calling in, that sounds like a nightmare in some sort of third world country prison.
It is a nightmare.
Is it?
Like, have they got, updated switchboards, or is it sort of like a...
Hit and miss every time.
No, you ring in and it's just potluck. The phone is in her patio where she is.
In her patio?
Yeah, so the girls answer, either Cassie or one of the other inmates. And then I've just got to speak in Spanish and ask for Cassie, and then they put Cassie on the phone.
Oh, right. So
They call out Cass.
the jail's different than what we would think jail is. So when you say a patio, is there like a group of girls in like a section, is there?
Yes, there's 9 patios all up in the prison. Cassie's in patio 7, and it's just a certain number to every different patio that she's in.
The
And how
whole
many-
thing's a
how many-
nightmare,
How many
right?
girls are in there, in each patio?
It varies. In Cassie's patio, there's about 20, because she's in a one where it's more secure.
Yeah.
But when she was in patio 5 to start with when she was first put in there, and there's about 400 girls in that one.
Oh,
What,
my God.
400, and are they all...
Yeah.
Crammed in or something?
Can you explain the conditions? Do they have mattresses on the floor? What's it like?
Bunk
I never actually went into patio 5, but from what Cassie's told me, there's 2 bunk beds, and then there's some mattresses on the floor as well because they're very cramped in there.
Has
But
she settled in well, or like because it sounds like a nightmare, but in reality, she's there, she's living it every day. Has she sort of got on with life and sort of?
Has she got a friend?
Yeah, what's
Someone
going
who has
on?
her back?
she's friends, I'm not sure, more maybe acquaintances.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she gets on really well. I mean, she's speaking fluent in Spanish.
Already?
Could she do that before, speak any Spanish, or has she just learned
No.
this? Wow.
No, I just learned this, and when I was over there last, she was just, trying to teach me when I was on the phone or when I went in to visit her.
Yeah.
But no, she speaks fluent Spanish. She can write, read, everything in Spanish.
That's amazing.
It is, and how quick she has done it. But it's a case of survival.
When you found out, oh, right, she's going to go in for 5 years. She's admitted to doing this smuggling. As a mum, you must have, what were you feeling? What were you thinking? What were you worried about?
Her surviving, her living through it, because, I'm still scared for her safety.
Yeah.
Every day. But it was mainly just her safety and survival that she was going to get through it. And, but I'm still worried, but I haven't got that fear as much because I've been in there with her now when I go in and visit her, and I know, and I've spoken to all the girls. They're very polite to me. They all give me a hug and say, bye-bye, Mum, or bye-bye, Mama, and all of that. They're funny. I mean, there's murderers, there's lots of people in there that are scary.
Yeah.
But
everyone's pretty well behaved, though, right? Everyone's sort of, it's not. Doesn't feel dangerous? Is that what you mean?
No. I feel very safe in there, but there is guards always walking through to make sure everything's going how it should. But the days I go in, it's the visitors for family as well, so they're all occupied
Right.
with their own families. But they always come over and say hello and say that they're looking after Cassandra and, she's okay.
I don't suppose there's any chance of you getting through to Cassie and asking her if she could call us.
Oh, the old potluck
Yeah.
trick there. That sounds good.
Yeah, I'll give it a go. Yeah, no worries.
If she's up for a chat, hopefully. There's not much else going on in there, is there?
No, all she really does is, just read or, watch TV. There's not a lot she can do in there.
Okay, well, you get your notepad out, you dial her up, and we'll check the traffic. We'll come back with both of you, hopefully.
Okay, not a problem.
Okay, darling.
Thanks, Lisa.
Lisa Sainsbury, mum of Cassie Sainsbury. Hopefully, we'll have both on next.
We've had some luck with getting hold of Cassie.
Okay, let's go live into that Colombian prison. What's it called, Lisa? What's the name of the prison called?
El Buen Pastor, which translates to the Good Shepherd.
The Good Shepherd. Doesn't sound like anything
Sounds
good's going on in
lovely,
there, though.
Let's get Cassie on. Hi, Cassie. You there, hun?
Hey,
Hi.
how
Hi.
you feeling, Cassie? Yeah, I can hear you. You good?
Yeah.
Thanks so much
duh.
for calling in. How are you coping in the prison? We've just been talking to your mum. She says that you've been surprisingly strong throughout all of this.
Yeah. I guess for me, my situation has not been easy at all throughout this whole process. But I've had a lot of people inside of the prison who have helped me, and they've helped me see that it's not the end of the world, and my problem isn't the worst problem that's happening.
Well, you could have got a lot longer, so I guess that's the silver lining in it,
Yeah.
isn't it? That at least that sentence was reduced greatly.
What's the hardest part? Is it emotionally? Is that the hardest part, or physically being there?
I don't know.
Well, they both
the whole
just suck,
thing-
I reckon.
Yeah, pretty much.
Tell us about what your living conditions are like, Cassie, in the prison.
Well, in the patio where I am, in patio 7,
Yeah.
it's not fabulous, but it's a lot better than the conditions that are in the prison.
Right, so your area is pretty good, not like
You
as
have-
far as the rest of it goes.
Do you have a bed or a mattress on the floor?
It's like in the cell, there's double bunks.
Yeah.
Right,
So I've got a mattress and I'm in one of the bunks.
right.
And it's one blanket, I think one blanket, one pillow, and that's it. That's all you're allowed.
Right.
And then it's your clothing, you're only allowed, I think, 5 T-shirts, 3 pairs of pants. It's all set limits.
Yeah. And what about in terms of food and getting? Is Mum allowed to bring you anything when she does come to visit?
Yes. So when we have visitors on the end of the weekend, they're allowed to bring in a container of food, but it has to be in clear. Everything has to be cut up so they can see that nothing's hidden inside.
Right, yep.
That everything's perfect to come in, basically.
So I remember watching you a little while back doing an interview with 60 Minutes. Were you happy with how you were portrayed on that?
No.
What weren't you happy with? What was unfair about it?
Basically, wasn't really happy about any of the interview. A lot of what I said was cut out, and so everything was sort of switched and changed and manipulated to make what I was saying look worse. Or
Was there one particular thing that bothered you about that interview that you wanted to get a message across now? Or was there a certain thing that you felt was manipulated that you'd like to clear up?
I would say, for me, the big thing was my phone.
Okay, run us through that.
through that.
What about the phone? What do you want everyone to know about it?
Well, when I was doing the interview, I was getting asked these questions, and I was responding exactly what I've been saying to my lawyer and everything else.
Yeah.
When they came to me and asked for the password, I'd already been in prison for 5 months. And so it was, what's the password? And for about a month, I was trying to remember, and then I said to my lawyer, I said, look, make a meeting with the prosecutor and give me the phone, and I'll try and get into it in front of them both.
Yeah, because sometimes
I
you
don't
can't
wanna-
remember. You just
if
know
it's
the
been
pattern.
if it's been a long time.
of course.
And that was what happened. It was not that I didn't want to remember it, not that I didn't want to give them the password, I just couldn't remember.
Yeah, of course.
And so I said, give me the phone and I'll try and get into it. And it was, my prosecutor said, okay, we'll go ahead, we'll do it, but after you've been sentenced.
Right, so when they put this on
And
TV,
so-
it all looked a bit like you were trying to hide it or something like that, right? And that
something
wasn't
dodgy.
the case.
Yes. No.
God,
That
it's,
wasn't the case.
you're going through a bad enough time on there. It annoys me when sort of TV shows or newspapers or even radio shows, when they start chopping it all up and making it something that it's not. Like, it's just, I don't understand why people do that.
No, I don't understand either, because when I saw a little bit of that, I thought, what on earth is this? You know, if people had seen that I said, you know, I want to get into the phone, I will attempt to get in this phone in front of them, but none of that was put on air.
Right.
Yeah. And what about Scott, your fiance? How are things going there? Has he been a good support?
Scott I actually broke up with Scott back in February.
Oh, did you?
I haven't heard that.
It's been kept very quiet.
Oh.
Um,
So what caused the breakup, can I ask?
Yeah, it was more so, I guess, for quite some time, things just weren't good between us. I probably, from the moment I got in here, the relationship was doomed.
Right.
Really?
And so with time, I needed to start thinking about myself and what I need for myself and
Yeah.
my future. And it came down to for me, I broke up with Scott because it was the best thing for me. And I also believe that it's the best thing for his future as well.
Yeah. Have you spoken to him since the breakup? Has he still been a friend to you?
No, we haven't spoken since.
Okay. I guess it is.
Some people just
yeah.
don't get on afterwards, you know. Jackie always talks to her exes. I don't talk to mine. Once they're done, they're done. I don't like that rubbish. Now, okay, so what are you doing in there? Like, you got some little friends or anything going on in there? Because you got to pass the time.
Luckily, I get along with everyone.
Yeah.
I sort of, for our patio, we have a small patio. There's only 16 of us in here.
Yeah.
And so we get along and we help each other. There is a lot of, and I mean a lot of arguments.
Is
But
there?
I'm always seen as the peace in it because I stop people from arguing. I try
Oh, so
and
you're the
solution everything.
peacekeeper. That's good.
What is
that's the
everyone?
role.
Can I ask what's an example of a typical argument they would
Yeah.
have?
Okay, one time it was because someone wanted to borrow a TV and the other person didn't want to, or if somebody moved someone's clothes and they don't know where they went. It's over little things.
Yeah.
Right, but they're escalated
But
in there.
They escalate to this massive thing.
Are we talking like punch-ups and stuff like that, like girls punching on? And...
Where, yes.
Wow.
Oh.
One of the last arguments that I got in between was we have an older lady here. She's in her late 70s. And a lady from a different part of Colombia, and they have a lot of attitude. The way they speak, it's very, very blunt.
Right.
And they sort of, I'm guessing this girl must have spoken to this older lady very rudely. And the old lady turned around, she goes, if you want to fight with me, let's go and fight. And so me and one other girl were sort of there, and, you know, I tried to walk the old lady off, and she turned around and she flung her fist at this girl, and she actually punched me in the face.
Oh, bloody hell.
No.
You're the peacekeeper.
Yeah.
You got
And
caught.
so
in the-
after
yeah.
that, I thought, nope, not getting involved with this old lady anymore. Because this old lady, she is super strong for her age.
When you first went in there, were people like trying to bully you, or like, you know, is there that
Yes.
sort of like, you know, pecking order sort of situation going on where people try and test you out?
Definitely. It is, I guess, because everyone looks at white people as gringos.
Right.
So it's a lot of discrimination. A lot of discrimination.
So it's worse going in as
And
a young white girl?
Well, I think it was, if I'd understood Spanish, I think it would have been a little bit easier.
Yep.
But I think not knowing Spanish, not understanding, not speaking, not knowing and not having anyone in Colombia, everything sort of just piled on and people sort of took advantage of it.
Right. Your mum told us
And
that you've
me
learned
being
that now.
involved, yes.
And no wonder she learned it so quick. I'd learn it quick
Yeah,
too.
I would too.
Communication, you need to do it.
So can I just ask you about going back to what got you in prison in the first place? Being paid that $10,000, did you ever think the whole thing was a bit odd?
Well, I actually never received any money.
No, you never received
Oh, that's
any.
still outstanding.
Basically, what I was told was the $10,000, they would take out my flights and my accommodation, and I would get paid what was left over,
Right.
Yeah.
which would have worked out roughly between $4,000 or $5,000. But I
God.
never got paid anything.
Oh, God. And now you're in there for 6 years. 5 more years to go. 1 year down, 5 to go. Do you have a message for any other young people that are travelling or that are struggling and trying to make a quick buck, or any message for anyone that might get themselves in the same situation?
I think for me, a big thing was I didn't analyze the people that I thought I could trust. And so it was a big shock when I found out everything that was going on. And I guess it's more so like people need to really, really analyse the people that they think they can trust. You might think you can trust them, but they can be a complete different person.
Yeah, so like, group of new friends, you don't really know people, dig deeper before you...
Just blindly trust them.
Yeah.
And your mum's here. So do you guys want to talk?
Oh, yeah.
I feel bad that we're hogging all your time.
No, it's okay. Hi, Mum.
Hi, Mum. Hi, Cass. How are you?
So, like, Lisa, Mum, she's in there for a year. She seems like she's in pretty good spirits considering. She seems to have learned a lesson. Like, what happens now? Is it just a waiting game?
Yes. We're still in touch with lawyers and everything like that. But yes, it's just the waiting game, and I just can't wait till my little girl's home.
When you were talking about taking this deal, did you two discuss it first?
Well, yes, of course. But ultimately, Cassie's a strong-willed girl. I had to abide by what Cassie wanted to do.
And did you not want her to take that deal?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Oh, you were... Okay, right, okay.
Yeah, this seems like the best deal that
of
was on
course,
offer.
yeah.
And what about the government, the Australian government? Have they been a help during this, or has it been difficult dealing with them?
It's not easy.
Right.
I would like more help, but there's no treaty between the countries or anything like that.
Right.
So, but yes, ultimately I would like more help because we're doing it ourselves. Just my partner and myself.
Yeah.
And Cass, of course. Yes, but what can we do? What can we do?
Hey, Cassie, is there some girl on girl action in there, or is the guys go in that jail? Some of these jails.
No, he's been watching too much of Orange is the New Black,
No,
Cassie.
no, I'm saying some jails the men go in, and then other ones only the women are allowed.
No, we knew what you were asking.
There is constables.
Yeah, so once a month, the people that have their husbands or their boyfriends, they're allowed to come in, and it's called a conjugal visit, which they come in and they do their business.
Are you allowed those, or like obviously you're single now, but is everyone allowed those, or just people that are married?
No, everyone is allowed that.
Oh, wow.
Sweet.
So wow.
Yeah.
I didn't think so. You're allowed that once a month, are you?
Once a month. Yeah.
Once a month. How cruel is that? That's the cruelest thing of
I
all.
was going to say they're getting luckier than I am. Maybe I need to go to this jail.
No. So, okay. So I'm just trying to get my head around the whole thing. So you got limited clothes. You're two in a room on bunk beds. Everyone's okay.
It's
You're
a
the
prison.
peacekeeper.
I mean, yeah. It's. I guess is it what you expected, Lisa? Anything surprised you being in there?
Everything surprised me. I had no idea what I was expecting when I walked in.
Yeah, I bet.
Probably when I walked into Patio 7, I was expecting it to be worse than it actually is.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, there's 16. I was thinking about 20. But, it's not... It's like and I say this, but don't take it as easily as it sounds.
Yeah.
It's like a dormitory,
Right.
Yep.
but just with louder and more
And
angry
we all
people.
get along.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
you, and you
that's
all get along. Thank God, because like you see these shows and you think
I know.
you don't want to not get on with someone when you're in jail. You know what I mean? That's the last thing you want.
Oh, that's right. You have to be
Why
able
I
to get
sort
it.
of
Yeah.
I keep my distance from the people who I know are prone to make trouble.
Yeah.
I'm friendly with everyone, and that's it.
And Lisa, is there anything that people should know about your daughter? Because obviously she's been dubbed Cocaine Cassie, and there
It's
are a lot
just
of
not
people
fair.
who have a perception of what she is or who she is. Explain to the people listening who is your daughter?
Cassie is a fun-loving, animal-loving, hard-working girl. She's had her own business. Okay, it failed, but she gave it a go. She's determined to do the right thing because she's a good girl. Never been in trouble with the law ever in her life. And I just want people to understand that what people know about Cassie is only from a year ago onwards.
Yeah.
They don't know Cassie before that. And she's the most beautiful, fun-loving girl who cares about her family, her friends, animals. She worked for the CFS, out of her own time when we had the fires over here.
I remember you telling me that. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
That takes
Yeah,
a
she
certain
went
sort of
around-
person to do that, you know. Not everyone does that.
No, she just fell into a wrong crowd. And it can happen to anybody. And this proves it without a doubt that if this can happen to Cassie, it can happen to absolutely anybody.
I
And
agree.
I'd like to say that all the kids out there that think it's a quick buck and, a quick trip, done, money in the pocket, it doesn't work that way.
No.
It really doesn't work
Yeah.
that way. And
Well,
Think
Lisa,
twice
same
about it.
consequences as Cassie.
Lisa, we appreciate your time. Cassie, especially, we appreciate your time. Thanks for calling us from
Thank
there.
you. Good luck in there, Cassie.
okay.
And we might check in with you again some other time. But thanks so much for talking to us. We appreciate it. And you too, Lisa.
Keep your head up,
Thanks
hun.
for having me.
Keep your
Thanks,
head up.
girls. Thanks,
There you
girls.
go. Lisa Sainsbury and daughter Cassie Sainsbury. Wow.
Yeah, I know. Well,
Oh.
she sounds like she's coping pretty
Yeah,
well,
it could
considering
be worse.
the circumstances.
It could be worse.
Keeping her head down. That's what I'd be doing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, you'd be,
Oh,
you'd
I
be
don't-
very
I don't wanna
popular.
be targeted.
Oh, you'd be very popular in there.
Well, guys.
Especially when you pulled out your jiu-jitsu moves.
Yeah, I think I need to tend a few more classes before I enter into
You
there.
just keep your nose clean.
I don't think I'm there yet, Kyle.
Oh, wow. What a story, hey? It
Yeah.
continues.
Mwah!